to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Stepdad says I need a real job, stumbling on a soapbox, assholes always pissed off. Got me thinking I should get high, fade into a dream like Technicolor tie-dye. They wanna change me.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here at Welcome to Rockville with
Austin Meade.
Yeah. And don't forget Gunner.
And Gunner here, yes.
Gunner's the star of the show, I think.
You know, he's a privileged dog. He's been on a bus tour for about 6 consecutive months, so he hates the bus at this point. But I gotta say, life was way worse for him when we were traveling in a van.
Yeah, no doubt. How does he like being in the environment when he's off the bus in this whole music
he
environment?
loves being off of it. He just gets cooped up, you know, in there.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah, so he's a working dog, so he needs to run around. But usually we stay on off days at some friends' houses, and we let him run around and be a ranch boy for a while. So he gets to live a lot of lives.
Nice. He's the road dog for real.
Yep, definitely. I've had a couple of them, and so he's been the most recent. So
Nice. So is this? I can't remember because they all swirl in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played Welcome to Rockville before?
yeah, I think this is our 3rd or 4th year.
Nice. And so, how do you like this festival compared to the other festivals you play at?
I always look forward to this one. It's usually the biggest. This is actually the first year that we're not on the main stage, which is a good trade-off to me because we get to play a little bit later in the day. I think the first year we ever played here, we were the first band on the stage with Metallica, and so it was a really cool experience, but it was definitely like, get in, shut up, get the fuck out.
Right.
Just because you're around a lot of that kind of security and different level of artist. Seems a lot more laid back on the stage we're at today, but we have a couple bands before us, which is cool because we don't have to be the first one to draw everybody in over there.
Right. And let me tell you something. I've been here since Wednesday night, and I can very confidently say it is probably the highest attended, definitely Rockville that I've ever been to, probably the highest attended Danny Wimmer festival, and maybe anywhere in the U.S.
Pretty big. I heard that there was going to be over 60,000 people here today.
100%. I couldn't
today.
even walk through anywhere last night. There were so many people. The ICP the other night, you would have thought that was the main stage, the
shit.
crowd.
Wow.
And they were on the smallest stage in the way back. So
Yeah.
you will definitely have a serious crowd today.
Nice.
So what do you have going on now that you want to let people know about? I want to first talk about the new song, though, because that's a badass song. I love
Thanks.
that. Tell us the story of that song.
The latest release is called Stoner Fantasy. I'm actually going to start the set with it today, and had a lot of fun making that music video. But the song just comes from just, you know, you get in the business and everybody wants you to do this and to do that, whether it's for the good or for the bad. And it's like everything I do, somebody wants to change something or tell me a way that I should do it a little better. Or, you know, you're just not blowing up yet because of this or that. And I'm like, man, you guys are just fucking looking at the wrong thing. That's kind of how I feel sometimes. You can pick and choose an artist's career or really anybody, any profession. You could pick and choose the good and the bad from each part of it, but I feel like we've been making really great music, and so I always crack up when people that don't make music come and tell us what we should do in their opinion, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go full bore with that idea. And just the idea of just living in that stoner fantasy of not wanting to change, and it's kind of a self-joking, you know, deprecation thing too. Like just the the lazy stoner that never wants to change. It could be conceived as, or it could be thought of as that attitude too, I guess. But just laying back and not really caring about anything too much, about what other people say. And I think the guitar riff in it is very reminiscent of that early 90s, like grunge rock. And that's
Right.
a lot of the direction that our new shit's going.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty badass. That song is pretty badass, and it's so funny because I was just talking about that yesterday, about exactly what you're saying. Like in one of the interviews I was talking about, it's kind of cool today that artists have the opportunity to do their own thing and have freedom as an artist, compared to back in the day where you had to do what the record label said to do or this person said to do. And I was saying exactly that. I'm like, I think the artist should know what to do with their music and let the business people do their end, but the creativity should be all artists.
Yeah, the more you get more people involved, there's definitely a good and bad with getting a bigger team for sure. I just hate whenever it's like, hey, go make more TikToks. You're like, well, I didn't sign up to be a fucking influencer. Like, I've been making records for a decade now, and I didn't start doing this so that I was a influencer up there just to show my tits and ass off, which I'll do, I guess, if I'll make enough money, but I got to make some real money for that.
Yeah, right? Maybe you should do an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I don't think I'm attractive enough for that, but, we'll see. Maybe I'll start one that's specifically for the older generation, because I get a lot of compliments from the cougars, okay?
Oh, well, there you go.
You look like my old boyfriend. And I'm like, well, maybe we'll do a little throwback. I don't know.
Nice. That could be your market, because, like, they would probably sign up for it. Yeah,
Let's
there
go.
you go. Do it.
Let's go.
Do
I
it.
have money.
Then, what would you think if you made more money off of that than your music?
I wouldn't care, dude. I'll make some of that dough. I got a wife and a kid to take care of and a house payment, so let's get that bread.
There you go. There you go. I love it. So, what else do you want to share with the listeners that's going on new? It's going to be happening after Welcome to Rockville that they need to look out for.
We just announced a tour with the band. Just made friends with a band called Lakeview. So we're doing kind of a club tour with Lakeview around the East and a little bit of the Midwest. That's coming up in the next month or two. And I think we're working on announcing a couple more tours for August through December very soon. We've got some more rock fests that we'll be doing that are kind of similar to this. We're also doing Danny Wimmer's Rocklahoma.
I love that one.
Yeah, I did that probably 2 or 3 years ago, and that's kind of like my home area. I'm from Texas, and so we do a lot of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas. So that'll be a cool spot to be close to our home,
And what a vibe at that festival.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and
it's just a dusty fucking pit.
Did you ever go into the campground when you performed there and just check out the campground there?
Yeah, I usually do. I was doing the same thing. I came in last night here and just kind of mingled around for a bit.
It's a pretty badass campground here and pretty badass at Rocklahoma too, right?
Yeah, Rocklahoma's definitely middle of nowhere, so it's interesting.
Right?
Got to watch for getting lost out there.
No doubt. So, is there any, thing that you've had on your mind all your music career that you really want to do that you still haven't done yet?
Yeah, I think we're working towards the goals of that, but obviously the goal would be to eventually headline something like this or, make a little bigger thumbprint on the country and do some international stuff. I've got a bunch of goals, but I would say the immediate ones that'll be done hopefully within the next 6 to 12 months. I need to get overseas, and we're about to release a new record. Been working on that. It's a lot heavier than our previous stuff.
Cool.
So, focused on that, and we kind of stepped out of the country, Oklahoma, Texas scene for a little bit to do a lot of this rock stuff and a lot of rock touring, and I'd like to kind of stick my head back into my home base for a little bit.
There you go.
Other than that, man, just trying to hang out with my kid while he's little and not miss all those moments. It's pretty hard to do while touring, so.
Yeah, that's the important part right there. Does your kid ever come to the shows?
Oh, 90% of the time, yeah. They went home. I'm meeting them at my wife's got a birthday coming up, and it's her first Mother's Day, and so we're taking a little trip to Arizona together. So they're already headed that way. That's the only reason they're not here today.
And how's your kid like being at the festivals or the shows or the concerts?
Oh, I mean, he's used to it. We've been taking him on tour since he was 6 weeks old, I think. So after he had that 6 or 8 week checkup, he did most of the last tour with me.
Nice.
He's pretty good, man. He's moving around now, so he wants freedom.
Do you think he's going to be a musician too?
Fucking hope not. No, I hope he does like the PGA Tour or something. I mean, he would have a good start. I would be able to get him a lot quicker, down the road with me here. But I don't know, man. The road's a cold hard bitch. I don't know that I want my son to deal with that too.
Right. I think there's a lot of musicians out there that feel the same way because, you don't want your kids to have to go through some of the stuff that you went through, and they're going to have to go through it to get to the other side. Yeah,
and you don't want to spoon feed him either, so there's always that entitled bullshit. But
exactly.
I'm going to see what he's good at. Hopefully he's really fucking good at golf, and we'll see what happens from there.
How about you? Are you good at golf?
Depending on the day, I can be decent.
Where's your favorite course you've played at?
Shit. That's a tough one, but we did just play one of my favorites over in Pelham, Alabama. There's a little small town. It's outside of Birmingham, but the course is called Ballantrae. It's pretty sick. But, man, I love just hitting, local munis and just, kind of dicking off with the boys with a 6-pack of beer and having a good time.
There you go. That's what it's all about, right? Just having a good time. I think same with music. That's what it's about. If you're not having fun, wrong industry, right?
Yep.
So tell everybody your socials, your web, all the info, how they can get your merch, all that great stuff.
I'm pretty sure if you just type in my name on the damn Google, it'll pop up. But, yeah, Meade, as long as you spell the last name right. Just look up Austin Meade or Howdy Fuckers. That comes up as my name a bunch, too. So
I love how that happened.
Howdy Fuckers has always just been kind of like my saying and my side brand, and everybody, I live out on a lake, and everybody had their dumbass political flags, hanging from their boats, and I was like, man, I want to make one that's southern but offensive, but looks very, before you read it, you're like, oh, that's a nice flag. So I made these flags that said Howdy Fuckers, and then everybody was trying to buy them off me, so I was like, I need to turn this shit into a business.
There you go.
So, yeah, I got the trademark on that. Now I'm sure you'll see a couple of them things flying around today.
Nice. I think we should get the whole crowd to have those during your set. So let's make that happen.
I'm down.
Love it. Well, I'm glad you're here at Welcome to Rockville, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.